411 TV. How are you doing this evening? How is everyone? I hope everyone is well. I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you. Thank you to all my subscribers. At the end of this video, I want you to click the like button, click subscribe, and please share. I want to talk about walking away from toxic situations, walking away from toxic relationships. It's time to take control of your lives, women. This can apply to men as well, but I'm mostly talking to the women. Take control of your life. You are a beautiful, wonderful person. You do not need someone to tell you that. And because you are a beautiful and wonderful person, you deserve the best that life has to offer. You do not deserve to be used and abused, manipulated. That toxicity that you live in, whatever relationship it is, because toxic relationships can come in all forms, ladies. It could be a toxic relationship between you and your boyfriend, you and your husband, you and your sister, you and your mother, you and your father, your auntie, your uncle. You could have a toxic relationship with your co-workers at work, your manager, your boss. You could have a toxic relationship with a best friend. Whatever toxic relationship you find yourself in, and you acknowledge and realize that it's a toxic relationship, it's time to let go. Let them go. If you love yourself, if you respect yourself, if you want to remain sane and healthy, let that toxic relationship go. Let that job go. Some women stay in a job that's toxic for some 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And when they finally retire, they pass away. They get sick and pass away from all of the stress that they had been under all those years in that toxic experience every day they went to work. Take control of your life and walk away. Why are so many women afraid to be alone? Afraid of the silence. Always wanting to have someone with you or around you. You don't like to be lonely. You don't like to be alone. And you would rather have a toxic man in your home, in your bed, putting his toxicity into you, abusing you, neglecting you, disrespecting you, cheating on you, but you'd rather stay in that toxicity than be lonely because you can say you have a man. But what you don't understand is no matter how much you love this man, this toxic man, or narcissist, because some of them are narcissistic, no matter how much you try to love this man, you can't change him. And the more you tolerate, the more toxicity you tolerate from a man, the more and more, like, the more and more he disrespects you, the less and less respect he have for you. Ladies, sometimes it's good to be alone. Sometimes it's good to sit in silence, because that's when the universe can actually speak to you and give you the answers to your problems. When you are alone in your silence is when you can reflect to see all the red flags that you missed when you got involved with this person. When you are alone in your silence, ladies, in your quiet time, alone, is when your third eye is able to open up and reveal to you and show you where you made mistakes in this relationship to cause some of these things to keep happening to you. In your silence, ladies, and your quiet time is when you realize you can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. Being in a toxic relationship with someone is stress to the body. Stress can cause stroke. Stress can cause heart attack. Whoever these toxic people are that's in your life, they are living off of your energy. Because they are on a lower vibration than you are. It's time to take control of your life and walk away. Let them go. Love yourself and let them go. Ladies, I think some of us are afraid to be alone because We are actually afraid to face ourselves. We are afraid to look ourselves in the mirror and admit where we went wrong and take responsibility for our part in it. But you see, when you get up the courage to be alone and to think and reflect and accept your part in it, the universe will reveal to you how to remove yourself from it if you really want to leave that toxic relationship. And once you leave that toxic relationship, do not go back. Because that person is not, they don't have any intentions of changing. And you can't change them. You can only change how you deal with them. Yes, it's tough because you could have had a toxic relationship with your mother or your auntie or a child. Your child. A toxic relationship with your father or your best friend. And it's painful to separate yourself from that. But you have to save yourself, or they are going to take you down with the sinking ship. Because they have no intentions of changing. And the older people get, the more they get set in their ways. Maya Angelou once said, the great queen poet Maya Angelou once said, if a person show you who they are, believe them. If you are working at a company and it's a toxic environment, your coworkers are toxic or your manager is toxic, take your time and try to find employment somewhere else and leave that job. Become an entrepreneur. Own your own business. There's so much information out here. Google it. There's so much information out here to show you how to start a business. I started a business, a t-shirt business online on my cell phone, my Android phone. And I knew nothing about starting a website or doing designs. Take control of your life and walk away from toxic relationships, ladies. Gentlemen, if you are watching, if you are listening, the same apply to you. If you are in a toxic relationship with your wife or your girlfriend or your brother or your auntie or your father or your mother or your sister, or your co-workers, your boss, this apply to you too. Remove yourself from these toxic relationships. Don't be afraid to step out on your own. Because once you have made a decision that you're no longer going to accept being mistreated, disrespected, abused, cheated on, lied to, when you have made up in your mind that you are done with that, the universe will show you how to move forward. And it's going to hurt in the beginning because the first phase is that the universe have to show you, take you back, do a replay with you in your mind. And take you back to the beginning of how everything started with you and this toxic person, and show you step by step that this person is really toxic and these are the times, you know? So it's confirmation that you are making the right decision in walking away. And once you walk away, you have to take time out to heal from the toxicity, because you don't want the next person that you meet, if you were in a relationship with one person and you decided to leave that toxic, you got the strength and the courage to walk away from that toxic relationship with no intentions of looking back. The universe will show you your mistakes with that relationship, and you will have to face yourself and accept your part in it, and where you made a mistake. Because when you are faced with seeing where you made the mistake throughout the whole thing, then you have learned your lesson, and going forward you won't make that same mistake again. People, you must know that we are here to learn lessons and receive blessings. And if you don't learn the lesson, you will continue to repeat it with different people throughout your life in different situations until you learn the lesson. And after you learn the lesson, the test to know whether you learned it, the universe will test you to see if you've learned your lesson, because it will make you remember where you went wrong. And once you can face yourself and see where you went wrong and make peace with yourself and forgive yourself, now you are free to move forward, which means you have to cut off all communication with the toxic person. This is one time that I will advise that ghosting someone is actually a good thing. Ghosting someone, in this case, can save your life, because I'm sure that in some toxic situations and relationships, you have talked to this person over and over about the same thing, and they continue to do it over and over and over again. And you have exhausted all possibilities of trying to make this relationship work. You feel like you are in the relationship by yourself and you're just being used. And if you come to this person and say that you want to end it and you don't want to be a part of that toxic relationship anymore, there's a chance that that person will try to find a way to convince you not to leave them. And then they will go back to their same old ways again after a while. So sometimes it's best to ghost some people, some toxic people. Your exit strategy is to ghost them, not to let them know that you are leaving. Just disappear. You have to have an exit plan, an exit strategy. And you have to keep your mouth shut and don't tell anybody what you are planning to do. When you plan your exit plan, make sure that you are going somewhere where this toxic person wouldn't have no idea where you are and how to get in contact with you. Block them from communicating with you through social media, through your cell phone. Do not, under any circumstances, contact them. If they try to reach out to you through other sources, do not respond. With a toxic person, you should practice a technique called deep. Listen to me now. Listen to me, ladies. Do not defend. Do not engage. Do not explain. And do not personalize. Deep. That is how you deal with a toxic person. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. You do not deserve to be treated like that. You should not accept that. Every time you accept toxic behavior from other people, it's like saying you don't love yourself. You don't respect yourself. So they don't either. Set boundaries and stick to them. Some things that people do should be a deal breaker. Meaning, if they do it the first time, one time, you should have been done. But we stay, we forgive, we hope that things will change. The person do things to make up with you, buy you gifts, flowers, do all the things that you like for a little while. And so we stay. And over time, it becomes bittersweet. Every time they do something to hurt you, they reverse it and do something really nice. Not even apologizing or acknowledging what they have done to you. And over time, over years of dealing with this toxic relationship, that person is chipping away at you, breaking you down slowly, chipping away at your self-esteem, your dignity. And stressing you out to the point where you are physically sick. And we put up with this year in, year out. For what? Just to say we have a man? Just to say we have a husband? Let them go. Free your mind. Release the soul tie, because that's all that it is. It's a soul tie. And after you leave that relationship, that toxic relationship, you need to be focused on being independent. Focus on your dreams and your goals. Focus on your health, your mental health, your physical health. Detox yourself from that toxic relationship. I suggest about a year. Please don't jump into another relationship with someone else, because that would be a rebound. And sometimes these traps are set to see if you were really serious, that you learned your lesson from the last toxic relationship. You have to detox yourself from this toxic person. Detox your mind. Detox your body. Try not to be sexual or intimate with anyone for at least a year. You can date. For those who like to date, you can date, but you don't have to be intimate or sexual with people to be dating them. You're just coming out of a toxic relationship and you're wounded. You have to heal. You can't now pick up some other person and all of that baggage and that you taken from all that other relationship. You're bringing all that toxicity now onto the next person, who is probably toxic as well. So you're piling extra toxicity onto yourself. So you really didn't learn your lesson. Yes, these are the cycles that we women go through. For what? It's time to stop it. We have to stop destroying ourselves and lowering our self-esteem just so we can say we have a man. We have the power. The longer you keep your legs closed, the more the man will respect you. And if you tell him that you're not being intimate or sexual right now, and he refuses to stick around, then he wasn't a right person for you anyway. Learn to be alone so that you can get to know who you really are and be able to spot toxic people from afar before you get into certain relationships. I've experienced toxicity on a level where I've had it come from family members. I've had toxicity come from co-workers, managers. I've had toxicity come from my live-in boyfriend. I've had toxicity come from husband. So I'm very familiar with the signs of toxic people. And so I'm so alert now. I've been alone to myself finally decided to just be alone by myself, pay my own bills, take care of myself, live alone. And I'm getting to know me. I'm building my self-worth. I'm building my self-esteem. I'm learning to love being alone with myself. Yes, I socialize. I'm a musician. I'm a performer. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I'm a social media content creator. But I live alone and I have my alone time. Building my own empire. Not waiting to get with a man to help me build an empire. I'm building my own. I can't depend on other people to fulfill my goals and my dreams. And if a man is not going to treat me right the way I deserve to be treated, I would rather live alone. I've had children. I've been married twice. There's nothing that I haven't experienced with relationships that I'm really missing. It's time now for me to start focusing on me and building me. And stop being used and abused and manipulated and mistreated and disrespected by men. For what? I deserve the best that life has to offer. I deserve the best that life has to offer. And I refuse to let toxic energy that permeate this earth and live through people come and try to destroy me. I'm sure there's some man out there that's a perfect fit for me, but I'm not going to go looking for one. I am spending my time to heal, to reflect, to build, to be one with nature. And I must say, when you remove yourself from toxic relationships, after you forgive yourself and make peace with it, forgive the person that you was in the relationship with. Wish them well. Well, even if you have to ghost them and you can't wish them well verbally, or, you know, to the universe, wish them well. Don't have bad intentions and feelings of revenge in your heart. There comes a time during the healing stage where you have to let go of the revenge. Let go of wanting to get back at that person for doing you all the things that they did. Because when you are in that private alone time, everything gonna start coming back to you, and part of you is going to be angry that you actually allow this person to do this to you. Like, you want to get revenge because you start to see when and where, how they manipulated you at times when you didn't even realize you was being cheated on and manipulated, you know. So you have to let go of the revenge part, the anger part, and make peace with it. But know that you and that person will not ever have any contact again. That person can never be in your life again. That's how I deal with it. I make peace with it and I move on because I understand the laws of the universe. I don't need to get revenge on anyone or any toxic relationship I've been in. I take responsibility for my part in that toxic relationship and I'm walking away. I make peace with it and I'm walking away. And I know that the laws of the universe never fails. It's the same always. And whatever that person sowed, they are going to reap. And one day karma will come knocking at their door. So I don't need to get revenge on anyone, especially if I was good to that person, if I was genuine and respectful and trustworthy and faithful and, you know, committed to making the relationship work. I did everything that I could possibly do. When you check off that checklist that you have done everything you could possibly do, but that person have pushed you to the point of no return, walk away. Take control of your life and walk away and let them go. This is Marie's message, 411 TV. Be good to yourself and be good to others. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Until next time, this is Marie's message, 411 TV.